So we got Adam here, and a few of you guys have been asking, well, a lot of you guys have been asking how to paint Survivor. So we're just going to do a one take, show you how quickly it can be done using the airbrush and brush a few simple colors that coat well. So I'm going to start out with the whole red through the airbrush, and this is going to be the base for our skin tone. Ooh, let me get it open. See? Oh, all the trials and tribulations of paint. Keep airbrush needle right there to clear paints. Get the pressure right. We're just going to do a heavy coat on the whole thing. This is going to be the base for our skin tone. Pretty heavy coat. Let that dry for a second. Clean out the airbrush. Use a big brush to scrub out my airbrush. Dry it out by blowing it out, and then use it to kind of soak up the paint. Now we're gonna go with a pale flesh. So this is an old paint. You can tell by the label, it's lasted forever. I think this one's over 10 years old. And it's gonna have the same problem. And it is really thick. So I'm gonna put some in there, and I'm gonna thin that down really heavily with some of the airbrush thinner. Probably about 2 to 1 for this one. Again, using an old synthetic brush to mix in the pot. Now, if you do this, it is going to wear down the inside of the airbrush over time, but I have to do things quickly since I paint on commission. I'm going to use some air to dry this off just a little bit. Might actually take you guys over in the other room, use the hair dryer for a second. It looks like this is going to be... Okay, let's do the hair dryer. Yeah. Just drying this off with the hair dryer real quick. Alright. Back to the other room. Mixed up. Turn the pressure a little bit. This is kind of going to be like a zenithal highlight. I'm going to go real soft and let it build up on its own. That's the compressor kicking on. I don't know if you guys can see the paint coming out of the airbrush, but you can kind of see a tone coming out. And then once I have sort of middle tone developed, I'm going to get a little bit heavier. The side of the face a little bit. He's got a heavy shadow there. We're not doing a light by the lantern. We're just doing kind of a basic light. So right now you can see all the contours. You see the face. So we've got skin. And from here, we're gonna move away from the airbrush. So I've just done 2 colors so far. Clean out the airbrush. Before I start hand painting. I set out the colors that I was going to use beforehand, because usually for me, in my mess, I take more time looking for colors than I do actually painting models. Got one of my detail brushes. For the cloak, we're going to use Vallejo Model Color Medium Sea Gray. It's really light and it coats really fast. You only really usually need one brush stroke to get a coat with it. Go in, hand detail. Get my intersections first. That way, once I have all these little intersections, I can go a little bit quicker and paint in between them, just color them in. This one, Adam, I think, he's got a decent sized cloak on him. You see how that's going on pretty quick in one coat. Be careful not to hit any of your painted skin when doing this. Almost got his whole cloak. I think for this cloak we're just going to do a white dry brush over it. Again, this isn't for detail, this isn't for competition, it's just an easy way to get your models painted and on the board. The thing about models, you can always go back and repaint or add to it if you want to. You don't have to stop and use the same one forever. You can even strip models later on. Some people don't, some people do. It just depends on whether or not you can buy more models or if you want to have the same ones to paint. I got a little bit of dust on here. I'm going to grab that real quick. Little hair. Get it off his leg. There we go. Alright, I'm going to let the cloak dry. Adam is very fair-headed, so I'm going to start with a khaki base for his hair. Probably wash it after that and then go back and use some from khaki and white. Again, khaki is one of those colors that's going to coat fairly well. You only have to do 1 or 2 coats with khaki, and it's a lighter color. I know some people are struggling using blonde or yellow to try and get that hair color on, but it's all about using different brands of paint, different colors, figuring out which ones go on quickly instead of doing 10 coats of yellow on a head, because you want a blonde guy, but Don't know which paints go coat up quickly. Again, being a little bit loose when I'm just filling in color, and then kind of slowing down and making sure I get clean edges with the head. Adam's kind of the fair skinned one. I know 2 survivors have fair skin and 2 survivors have darker skin. So he's going to be fairly whited out. Even go in and add just a little bit of color to his eyebrow. You don't have to paint the whole thing, just as long as you get a little bit of color on there. It'll give it the illusion that his eyebrows are more painted. So you're going to do one more coat on the hair.
Hold it up again. Hold it up again.
Yeah. We're going to do one more coat on the hair in a minute. So I'm going to go back and dry brush this cloak while the hair dries. So, it's white.
Get that focus.
Add it to our palette. Emmy's helping me film this. Okay. Got a little synthetic brush here that give me some more control. Usually dry brush with very large brushes, but I mean if it's a dry brush it's going quick anyway, so you can use a small brush and get more control. And so pick a direction, move from that direction, be careful not to hit your skin. Go back, reload. You see a lot of painters have paint all over their thumb, and it's because they're testing how their brush is unloading, or they're training the tip of their brush before they put it on the model. So with the dry brush I like to hit my hand real quick, make sure that I don't have too much, because too much is where you don't want to be dry brushing, because if you have too much then it streaks, and it's harder to take away paint than it is to add more. The more time you spend on the dry brush, the smoother it's going to be. Dry brushing is always going to have that really chalky look. We use makeup brushes for larger models because they distribute the pigment really well. They got a lot of bristles, cover a lot of area. Let's see if I can get to the underside of this cloak without touching the skin too much. Toga, cloak.
Toga.
Just to soften up this dry brush a little bit more. Alright, so now we have a dry brush cloak. Skin's going to look smoother than the cloak, of course, because it was done with the airbrush. Alright, back to the second coat on the head. Two coats for hair. And that's mostly filled in already. Just have a little bit of that red coming through, which I want to get rid of. same thing. I'm going to go in, hit the stone shard with that gray. This will be one coat. Again, I'm letting my hair dry a little bit because I want to put a wash on it. And if it's not really dry, then it's gonna, the hair is gonna, the paint will blend or bleed into the wash. For my lantern, I'm gonna go in, do a little bit of OSL. I want to paint the base first. So I'm just gonna do a black base. I'm just going to have the lantern glow on it. So just the inner area we can finish and do the outer ring in a minute. Again, just really being careful around where the feet are touching the base. I'm trying not to let the brush ride up too much to hit the underside of that cloak, because you don't want to get any black on this toga. Cloak, toga, I don't know, I guess I'm in a cloak mood today. We're going to do a little bit more airbrushing, so we're not going to worry about the outer ring quite yet. Because if any airbrush gets on that, we're just going to have to repaint it anyway. We're going to do a little bit of OSL. Some air to force dry some. Alright, so whenever I do OSLs, I like to do a little bit of white first, because if I'm using a yellow, the yellow isn't going to coat very well. Especially bright yellows that you want to use as light sources. So for hard light, just getting that pure kind of hit, start with a white, still have a little bit of cleaner in there. So I'm going to go right beside his leg where the lantern's hanging. A little bit of overspray. There we go. Right on the leg there. Just being careful and putting it on slow. Don't want to overspray and have to do this part again. You have to clear your airbrush a good bit with the white because it likes to clog pretty quickly. Turn the pressure up too. I'm going to put a little bit under him on the base too. And after we do our light, we can hit some of the obscured areas with a paintbrush. Thin this one down because it is a model color. Didn't land on the tip. It's good. So at this one, I'm gonna I'm not gonna aim for the center. I'm gonna go around, just get a little bit of darker color in some areas. lantern light. Get his hand a little bit. Some of his torso. Just give him some glow. Alright, now we're going to use a little bit of this earth shade. Use this brush. I use liners a lot for my wash because they kind of unload like a fountain pen, so they let you store a lot more wash. Not like heavy, you don't want to douse it. But enough to fill in the cracks and give them a definite stop and start between the hair and the skin. And I'll let Emmie hold that and show you guys while I switch out the brushes. Switching over to a black wash now, and we'll do our founding stone. Alright, so again, phone going off. Battery this time. Just adding a little bit of black wash to the stone, the founding stone, and kind of dabbing it off with your hand. You don't have like a whole lot, but it's the black wash from Citadel, the nun oil. From here, you're good to go on the table. I would recommend using a little bit of Army Painter anti-shine once everything's done. Seal everything in. It'll knock out the gloss that any of your washes have in it. And you're ready to play. I'll take some pictures and put it at the end of the video for you.